the Petestep hull. Guys, I think that's the thing that we need to talk about first during this test drive. We're going to go faster and faster, and we'll do a full speed run at the end. Then we're actually going to wind back down through the speed range just to talk to you about how amazing this thing. But the thing we need to pay particular attention to is the amount of engineering that has gone in to make this hull work. I see so many designs that they use the tricky air steps, but they forget about the weight and they forget about all the other necessary refinements that make the thing go really good. So feel that acceleration. We were doing 30 knots. In no time, I just got the boat straight up to 35. We just touched 38, but I'm not going to go super fast, going through a little bit of boat wash at the moment. And my revs are hovering between 4,000 RPM and 4,400 RPM. My fuel flow, I haven't even broken 60 litres, and now I'm below 60 litres. So it really is incredible because the weight has been considered. That's something we just have to stress. Directional stability, amazing. This roof structure, incredible. Wind vortices have also been considered because I'm not getting any wind on me at the moment. It's just curving around me. All the ergonomics at the dash, I'm comfortable. I've been playing with the seat adjustment just to get it right for me. And we're just coming in at 34 knots, and we're going to try our first considerably fun turn in a second. I've got a little bit of boat traffic. I'm all good. We'll be overtaking him. We're essentially going to overtake most people on this one, coming into a few waves, and we have the wind behind us at the moment. So 4,300 RPM. Again, fuel flow, 56 litres. Big difference. Just watching one target on my port bow. We're overtaking him. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'm going to come into a turn soon, looking out and around. I'm good on traffic. Starting my turn soon. I'm going to drop the drives, turn to starboard, feel the hull, and then we're going to go upwind. 3, 2, 1. Feeling the hull. Feel that, guys. She just cuts in. I can go tighter if I want. We'll do that in a second. And then coming out of that turn at 30 knots, going into the wind, smooth, cutting the waves, 29 knots, and I'm just going to sit at around about 27, going back through my own waves now. Whoa, didn't even feel that. So I think it's important to factor in directional stability, your direction of the bow. Got a couple of waves here now from some boat traffic and cutting through it. The big difference on a design like this, now let's do some upwind and we'll do some turns. The big difference that you need to consider. If you go for one of those big heavy American boats going to port now into some waves, and we'll go to starboard in a second. If you go for weight, you're going to have lots and lots of horsepower. Then you're going to have lots and lots of weight, and then you can just bash everything that comes your way. But if you go for refinement, like a supercar, you have to drive the supercar, which is exactly how this thing seems to be behaving. If you see some waves, aim into them, slice them up, take care of your approach speed and angle, and the thing is going to be incredibly smooth. I got boat traffic on starboard, boat traffic on port, and it's so agile. I'm just going to do it again. Rip it in. Oh yeah, nice, tight, comfortable, straight over. And let's go over these next waves. We'll get that at a bit more speed this time. Fantastic. This is great. Okay, fuel flow, still hovering below that 60 litres at 4,200 RPM. Let's give it a bit more. So the thing about this Petestep hull, it just evenly lifts itself. It creates vortices all the way down the hull, and each vortice, as they get engaged, excuse my coughing, I've got a cold, it lifts the boat, aerates it, reduces the drag, and you can feel it. It actually makes a little bit of a noise when you catch an edge. Nothing aggressive or unnatural, but you can just feel that it's working and it's giving you that efficiency, hence why my fuel flow's gone down. It's gone down. 51 litres, that's awesome. Okay, let's try wide open. I need to go away from the land because it's a busy day today and I don't want to interrupt any other people. Trim my drives up, just turning somewhat downwind and out to sea. We're going to get out of the way of everyone else. Increasing our speed, 31 knots, 4,500 RPM. Got one yacht out to sea, but we should be ahead of him. Increasing speed, 37 knots. We're at 100 litres consumption, 5,200 RPM. We're at 42 knots. I'm not foot to the floor yet. We're at 100 litres consumption still. Increasing power, 5,400, 5,500, 5,600, 44, 45. That's foot to the floor. Smooth, 5,650, almost 5,700. Couple of waves. Directional stability good. Fuel flow under 130 litres. Rip it along. Smooth. Safe basically. Coming around, we're in open waters now, we're exposed to the winds. And whoop, bird, missed it. Woo, phew. Feels good, guys. Again, excuse my cold. But didn't take any water over the bow. No awkward slamming. It is important to get that directional stability right. Think about where you're pointing the bow. That's going to give you the most benefit. Now let's talk about some of those slow speeds. The fuel flow numbers are incredible. Like, guys, if you're looking at a boat in this size range, some of them I have been searching this morning are as heavy as up to 20, not 20, what am I saying? I got confused by the 20 on my screen. 11 tons compared to our 4.5. So that's what's making the difference. So I'm now sitting around about 20 knots SOG, 2,900 RPM, very, very low noise levels, and I'm consuming 27 litres. Let's get that down to about 18 perhaps, 19, 2,600 RPM, 21 litres. We're essentially on the plane. This thing's fantastic. Let's just drop it down a bit more. Let's look at 16. Super comfortable. Noise levels. You know, this is a V8 petrol. There you go, 16, 19 litres consumption. 19 litres. Let's just drop it down. That was 2,400 RPM. 14. I see 15 litres consumption. Let's go 12. So she just settles back off high speed in a much different manner compared to a traditional style hull. 13 litres consumption. Let's just see 10. Okay, so that's 9.5. 12 litres consumption. Let's look at 8. Here's our stern wave. And look at the wake disturbance. It's very minimal. So interesting. And so I think this is why it's so important. If you want performance, or if you want something essentially like a supercar, 8 knots, nice wake dissipation there. Let's just go neutral, just let it settle. Really nice. Super smooth. Yeah, I just think it's really important to study the builder and see how much attention they've put into the hydrodynamics, weight, and aerodynamics, because they've clearly thought about it on this boat. And that's why we saw what we just saw with the engines and the fuel consumption that we just had. That's a little bit amazing. If you go and stack it up next to a lot of boats in this category, or in this sphere, are going to be so much heavier, drag their butt a lot, whereas we appeared to, I hope the drone shots did it justice, run much more level right throughout the range. It appears that the boat, when all of these Petesteps start to activate and produce their vortices, it's like they start at the front and then it goes boom, 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 boom. Then the whole thing's up on steps and you can feel it. And you can, at some little points, as I mentioned before, you can just hear it. And that's the air interacting with the water, giving us what we just experienced then. That's super interesting. So yeah, I'm a fan. And I just love the practicality of this roof. You know, yes, areas to hold on to. I think that's going to be more relevant if I'm in somewhere like Australia. You know, these calm seas, it's not sort of necessary. Not once did I feel like I was going to fall away from this helm. I did play with the seat earlier. It's a very direct, you've got to use one arm. They're quite strong, highly built things. So if you want to slide it forward, you just undo this handle here and slide the thing forward. And I think for a distance drive, it would be nice to sit and drive because it's quite comfortable. You've got some back support here. And also if you're going to do some sporty turns, it's going to hold you in position. I did notice as well, it's got suspension and this nice fold out footrest. I think transitioning underway, because everything's so well built, it's actually quite strong. I don't know if you're going to do a fast transition. That's why I opted to stand, because it's just, I felt comfortable. But if you're going to perhaps transition, do a longish drive and you wish to sit, just set yourself up in the seated position, get this distance correct and go for it, because the throttle positioning for me, I got to be a bit further forward, but it was quite comfortable. Like, I don't think I'm going to get a sore neck for long drives, so that's perfectly fine. And you can still get away from the helm. You can still leave the helm from a seated position. Also, tall people, no problems. Heaps of space above, and they've even built this little notch into the roof above the helm, so you have even more head height. But because this windscreen comes all the way to the top, there's no something right in your line of sight for the tall blokes. So yeah, very nice. Okay, so from here, we're gonna cut to the next piece where we're gonna go and experiment and drop the anchor. And then later on in the video, we shall do some docking practice back at the marina. And if I can get away with it, I'll fly the drone, with permission. But if I can't, I won't. So I'll see you there.
Okay. So first I'm gonna open the hatch. We can do it from the screen, from this small screen. And now, once the hatch is open, I'm gonna take the arm out.
And then the anchor just deploys out here. And there's a pin which mates into the bow. So now that's mated, and now the chain is ready to deploy. Oh no, the door's probably gonna close next, I think. Oh no. Okay. So you can see the chain all running there from the windlass through the rollers.
Yeah, it's telling us that we have dropped 9 meters of chain and the depth is 1.5 meters, so we have enough chain.
So that was all pretty seamless. You never know with these systems. Sometimes they can be a bit clunky, but that one seemed all pretty smooth. And we've already tested it today by hoisting this system. And
how does it look?
Okay, your anchor's bedding in now. I think we're going to be okay. And it seemed to hold the anchor on this bow roller here quite well, because when it came up, it bedded in. There's a piece of rubber on top of the bow roller, and then as it closes in, it clears this gap quite nicely, which is not the case on past systems that I've seen of this design. So that's good. Okay, so we have found where the boat lives. It's just down this runway. I'm just waiting for some traffic, and we're gonna maneuver the boat into the berth and bring you guys along with us. Sorry, we can't fly the drone in this location. We are not allowed. So the challenge is gonna be traffic and then ground lines. So once we're clear of traffic, we'll be looking out for ground lines. This looks like our opportunity. So let's just get the boat moving. Okay, so I'm just on transverse thrust there, guys. One engine forward, one engine back. I got really good vis all around. And remember, it's a stern drive, so you can just turn the wheel, as I have just done now with right engine forward, and get really, really good close quarters maneuverability. And now I'm just gonna go in engine, or one engine at a time, in gear and out of gear. And I'm just gonna be paying attention to the ground lines, but before I enter, I'm just gonna double check that I've got that available to me. So that's the bow thruster. I turned it on, but I was just doing a double check. Now we've got to remember which berth we're in. Do you remember, Diego?
Yeah.
So
at some point you're going to see like a drop anchor on boat that has the anchor a little bit down.
Copy that.
And it's the one besides.
No worries. So yeah.
I'll let you know. It's pretty much in the middle.
Thank you very much. She's a light boat, so you will need, if you're in a windy area, you will need potentially some speed to have good directional stability. And I'm just trying to talk and concentrate because I don't remember exactly which one. Is it this one?
No, you see that anchor over there that is a little bit dropped?
Oh, that one. Yes, yeah. Thank you. Okay, great. Okay. So my next task is to center the boat in the runway, and then we will stop the boat and start our turn. So I'm going to want essentially visibility on ground lines and then forward and aft. So there's no rush. Don't let other people pressure you. So I'm just going to stop the boat in a second with the berth somewhat on my beam. And we're going to be, essentially we're just going to have fender room. So I'm going to be checking both angles. I'm going to want more stern than bow here. Okay.
It's a tight one.
That's okay. We'll make it happen. Okay. All right. Now I'm just trying to line it up, and this is where it gets kind of tight, so I'm going to straighten her up and try and walk her in a bit better than this. I'm just watching starboard, Diego, so okay, thank you. Nice and gentle with this Med style mooring. Okay. And almost able to manhandle it in now on the fenders, because we're going to be picking up a ground line. Once we've got it into position and nestled in between both boats, it's not going to go anywhere. You might have noticed my head didn't move as I was doing that final approach in between the two boats. So even though we were touching on both sides, well, we are with the fenders, I just paid attention to one side And now I'm just gently bringing it back. Just no rush, one engine at a time. I'm watching Diego's coming back. I'm looking at his instructions here. Okay, he's grabbing the line, so that's attached to the dock. That's going to come to the aft cleat, and I'm just staying in the helm. We're not rushing anything. That's giving me first line, and I can now, if I had to, I can go forward, but I don't need to because everything's under control. And then with the other line, that's going to secure us in the berth, but we then have to pick up the ground line, walk it forward, and that stops us from coming back. So for those of you who are not from the Mediterranean, this is literally how they park boats in every marina here, because in the, in Australia and America, we would normally have a finger on either side, which we would then secure the boat to, but this style is more efficient for getting more boats on board, or into the marina. So it kind of works. Hope that was useful. Let's finish this off here, mate. I'll pass that in. Boom. I'd say a lot of drunken people have fallen off those at the end of a fun day, but that's the hazards of first world problems in Mallorca. All right, how does it drive? Where does it shine? Oh, that's nice. What are its limitations and what should you compare it to? How does it drive? It drives like a say. It drives like the most practical say that I've driven before, but a say is a unique experience. So you have to get accustomed or familiar with the Petestep experience. You can feel and sometimes hear the aeration under the hull giving you the efficiency, and you will get used to it, and it's quite fun. It's absolutely a sporty drive if you want it to be, and it's absolutely a smooth drive if you want it to be. But remember, you're going to need to captain the boat. This is not a boat, in my opinion, that similar to like a rear-engine Porsche. If you're not mastering that thing hard and fast around the corners, you're going to lose the arse and end up in the bushes. You're not going to lose the arse on this thing, but if you are driving it properly and you're paying attention to the sea state ahead of you, you're going to get the most out of the boat and you're going to have fun. So hopefully that's your intention, because you will definitely achieve it on this thing. You're going to notice the accelerations and the banking into the turns if you turn the gyro off. And it's going to be an experience that you will crave. And hopefully go out and do it on a Sunday morning, because that's kind of the idea of something like this. So it's definitely an enjoyable boat to drive, and it's a boat that requires some professionalism or attention when you're driving. And sure, if you don't pay attention, you're still going to have a good time, but maybe just slow down a little bit. Don't do it at 45 knots. So yeah, I think your cruising speeds, as we discovered, 30 knots is no problems. 35 knot cruise is no problems. Very healthy fuel consumption for a boat of this size. It's all no problems. What are its limitations? If you are, for example, in some parts of the world where you need to go and nestle up against concrete poles to get your boat into the pen, well then this ain't gonna work, because we have a beautiful paint job down the side and you're gonna scratch it. So if that's you, think about solutions, think about vertical fenders, think about rollers on your pole. If you're in a tidal area that you do have to factor in wooden or concrete vertical poles, protect those poles, because the boat ain't gonna handle it. So everything, or every boat, is suitable for certain missions, and just factor that in if that's on your mind. And yeah, it's a delicate piece of kit. It probably wants a cover if it's in Australia, because there's a lot of things here that would want protection from harsh sun. Here in Europe, not so necessary. I'd be happy to leave a boat like this open for the summer, because they have a different style of boating here and they winterize, so that's a different mindset for us. But for its mission purpose, I think it's doing a bloody great job. Like, it really is a unique piece of kit. So what should you compare it to? Any of the luxury, ultra luxury Mediterranean types that are out there. I'm thinking Frauscher, I'm thinking Weyer, are two brands that you could go and have a look at if you're in the market, and even Pardo. And I'll use Pardo as an example because maybe they watched our last YouTube video that I titled Supercar of the Sea, because they've also titled their 43 Supercar of the Sea. But I noted that it's 11 tons versus this 4.5 tons. So I know which supercar I'm going to be wanting to drive. But, you know, do the numbers, hold the specifications up against one another, and then use that information and work backwards and relate it to your mission and in your boat life, and then work out whether something like this is going to suit what you want to do. And so if it is performance, if it is the best fuel economy, if it is feedback when you're driving, and let's face it, if it's just good looks from every angle, then have a look at the Say. It's a good piece of kit, and that roof just makes it globally appealing, in my opinion. The previous model, loved it, sexy, pulls on the heartstrings, but I come from Australia. So give me the roof any day of the week. Hope that was useful. See you in the Patreon. Get down in the comments, communicate. If you've already got one of these boats and someone is asking questions in the comments that I haven't got around to answering, just answer. This is a community. It's really useful when you guys do that, because so many blokes are trying to buy boats, and let's just help each other. Thanks so much. See you in the next one.